Well, that makes it sound like a kind of gang crime. Hello! We are James and Andy. We are one half of No Such Thing as a Fish, the podcast all about interesting things, and we are here at Penguin Books to talk about the best facts of the last decade.
What's been the highlight of the last decade?
Holding a koala, because we went on tour and we went to Brisbane, and they have koalas in Brisbane.
And it probably had chlamydia.
Yes.
Because most koalas do.
So, James, what's this bingo machine doing here?
Well, we've been told to use this bingo machine to find out some years from the last 10 years and choose them so that we don't go in any particular order.
Sure.
And we will decide what were the best facts from that year.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, wow, that's loud. That's smart.
Oh, 2010. Well, it's over there now, but 2010 was the year.
Okay, what happened in 2010? The iPad was launched.
There was an election.
Was there? There's an election every year these days.
Yeah.
It was those Chilean miners. Do you remember those guys?
We got to go to the National TV Awards, and one of the awards was being presented by the Chilean miners.
I don't think I was there.
I think they gave it to Anton Deck. It was a weird cross-cultural moment in Western society.
One interesting thing that happened in 2010, which wasn't in the major news, was there was a traffic jam in China that was 100 kilometers long.
Wow.
Basically, just people broke down, and then it got longer and longer, and then people just started abandoning their cars because they thought, we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And so it went from Beijing about 100 kilometers out, and people were averaging about 1 kilometer per day.
Is it still going on?
It feels like it must be.
Cleared?
It feels like it must be, but I think it cleared eventually.
Let's do another year.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Okay, how does this work?
Oh,
I've got one.
You got one?
Okay, can you catch it? It's going to fly out there.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
What year?
2016.
2016.
Actually, it could be an 18. I think it's 16.
No, it's 16.
It's 16. 2016.
Huge year. There was a referendum, Donald Trump was elected, David Bowie and Alan Rickman died.
Oh.
It wasn't a great year.
It was a great year for Leicester City, who won the Premier League.
Yeah, true.
And anyone who put a bet on them, because they were 5,000 to 1 at the start of the season.
Yes.
Which was no one.
No.
You did mention Trump. Do you remember the guy who climbed up Trump Tower with suction pads on his hands and feet?
Dimly.
And they kept smashing windows to try and get him, and he just kept getting away from them. And then when they finally arrested him, he said he only did it because he wanted to meet Donald Trump.
Feels like a late excuse, doesn't it? I had a crime story from 2016, which is that 5 men were arrested and charged with, I think it was stealing a trailer full of biscuits.
Nice.
They stole a trailer. It was worth £20,000. Do you remember? They were charged and they were sentenced. And as they were sentenced, as the judge was reading out his sentence, one of them shouted out, "Would you like a biscuit?" Which is the most childish response ever. Maybe it wasn't such a bad year, thanks to all the biscuits. Biscuit news. Oh, here's one. Okay.
Oh, clever.
2013.
You turned 26.
Great year for me being 26.
I turned a few years older than that.
Yeah. Who's counting? No one's counting. The Pope resigned.
He did.
For the first time ever.
The first time he'd ever resigned.
Yeah.
Richard III. They found Richard III in a car park.
Yes.
Under a car park, not in a car park. Just in his car. My favourite story from the year, which didn't make all the newspapers, was the doctor who had the world's hottest curry. He ate the world's hottest curry, and then it basically almost killed him. And he was just found walking the streets weeping about 20 minutes later.
No, it's your turn.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was clever.
That's the first time that's worked.
Actually worked properly, yeah, amazing. Okay, I think that's 16 again. So should we do 18?
Yeah.
2018 is so recent. We must remember everything that happened then.
I turned 31?
Yeah, I turned a few years old, more than 31. It was those, we talked about the Chilean miners earlier, but they had the Thai football team. Do you remember? Who got stuck in like a cave, didn't they?
In a cave, yeah. Has anyone ever put together the Thai footballers and the Chilean miners in either a football tournament or
a mining tournament?
I guess so, yeah.
So there was a Swedish mother, a lady in Sweden, who had a tattoo of her son's name. So her son was called Kevin.
Okay.
And she tried to get the word Kevin tattooed on, but misspelled it as Kelvin. And so what do you do in that situation? Do you get it re-inked?
Probably.
Nope, she changed the name of her child to Kelvin.
She could have pretended it was a temperature thing.
Yes,
She could have said, 273 Kelvin.
Yeah.
Or to say she was really cool.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Let's do another one. Oh, it's your turn.
Okay.
Oh,
really.
it works again.
We're really doing well on this. 2017.
Oh, what a year.
What a year. Another election.
That was the election that basically messed everything up, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the one that really messed everything up. The Oscars mix-up.
Oh, that was fun.
Where it was meant to be Moonlight and they gave it to La La Land.
Yeah, that
and
was
then we
nice.
found a fact about that. Do you remember? The British Kebab Awards that happened the same night.
Yes.
And the British Kebab Awards suffered exactly the same mistake where they gave an award to the wrong curry house. And it sounded so similar. They had very similar names. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. 2011.
2011. What a year.
Great year.
The Royal Wedding.
Royal Wedding. I watched that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, and what did you think?
It was nice.
Anything else that happened that year?
Not much. For me, it was mostly a royal wedding in April and then just a lot of aftershocks. There were some earthquakes, actually.
Oh, were there?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They were bad.
I've got a fact from 2011.
Go on.
It's not really news related. It's that in Hungary, the 47th most popular name in 2011 was Norbert.
That's great.
It didn't make many front pages, and actually it only came out in 2012 that was true. So it's just one of my favourite facts. I just think it's such a great name. And there's so many Norberts walking around in Hungary.
Well, they will all be walking now. Yeah. What was 46th?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, probably like Jared. So there we go. I'll do that. 2019?
2019.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Another election.
So what's happened this year?
Just more of the same nonsense, really. Boris Johnson became Prime Minister.
He did. Yeah, what happened on the internet? Any fun things happened? Any good stuff? We got the book of the year 2019, haven't we? And this is all stuff from this year, from 2019. Going back to sport, I really like the thing, because I went to the Women's World Cup this year. And one thing that happened during that World Cup is there was a bar in America that was giving free shots every time America scored a goal, or at least they did do, until they won a game against Thailand 13-0. And I think pretty much went out of business almost immediately. If you want to know anything about what happened in 2019, that's your book.
I think that was subtle enough. I think we got away with that one.
I don't think they noticed, did they?
I think this is yours, isn't it?
Is it?
There are
No, I did
left,
the
it must-
29
all right. Oh,
Team on.
I got it.
Well done.
2014.
2014.
Ed Miliband was leader of the Labour Party.
Was he?
Yep. David Bowie was fine. They were simpler and happier times. What about facts from the year?
So the European Space Agency
Yeah.
put a probe on a comet,
Nice.
Rosetta, the Rosetta probe.
Yeah.
And speaking of probes,
Go on.
takes me to Tiananmen Square, where the Chinese government anally probed a whole load of pigeons to check that they didn't have bombs in their bums.
I remember that.
Do you
And it was
remember?
something like 10,000 pigeons.
10,000
It was a lot
pigeons.
of pigeons that got
They had
probed.
to check the cloacas to make sure that there was nothing dodgy in there. It was a big year for probes.
It's a huge year for probes. Which was the more successful probe?
I would say it has to be, well, no pigeon overthrew the Chinese government, so that was successful.
That's true.
But the Rosetta, on the other hand, that was a pretty amazing
That's a
bit
more
of
difficult
technology.
probe to do.
I think so. Although those pigeons can be quite tricky.
It's time consuming. They're both time consuming. Anyway, we're going to be doing a separate probe of the year video. Look on our personal channels for that.
One more?
Yeah, one more. I think there are two more. There are two more in here.
I think one's 2015 and one is... Oh, and this is 2015.
2015,
Yeah.
another election! Yay!
Oh, yes.
Zayn left One Direction.
Oh, wow, that was the biggest news story of the year.
And that was only 3 years after 2012 when One Direction had their koala chlamydia scare. Do you remember this?
No.
They were urinated on by a group of koalas. Well, that makes it sound like a kind of gang crime. No, they were holding some koalas at a sanctuary and they were...
Like we did.
Like we did.
Yeah.
But the koalas did not take to One Direction, they peed on them.
No.
And then that prompted a scare, you know.
In a way, it's quite good that we weren't urinated on by the koalas, I would say, because it probably says that they like our podcast more than they like One Direction's music.
That's fair enough. Well, they don't have to listen to any more One Direction music now, partly thanks to Zayn leaving in 2015.
Something else that happened in 2015 was the dress. Do you remember that?
The different coloured dress.
Is it blue and black? Is it white and gold?
I thought it was... I can't remember what I thought it was, but I thought it very strongly at the time.
Yeah,
Why do people see it differently?
It was due to the lighting, and I don't know if anyone ever got to the bottom of that. Did they?
No.
It's one of those mysteries that will never ever be solved.
One of the great mysteries. Oh well. In 2015, there was a fight between US Army cadets. It was a pillow fight.
Pillow fight.
Yeah, but it turned really serious. About 30 people, I think, were injured because people.
How hard were those pillows?
Well, people started putting their helmets into pillowcases, which I think is cheating.
I think that's not really a pillow fight.
No,
It's just more of a fight at that stage, isn't it?
There's only 1 year left.
Oh no, what is it? I can't even remember.
I don't know. It's your turn to
Is it
point
me
it
again?
out. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, I'm going to keep missing. Oh, there we go. 2012.
2012.
I got married.
Congratulations.
Well, it was in 2012.
Belated congratulations.
It's taken you a while to say anything.
The Jubilee happened in 2012.
Oh
didn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, of course, yeah. And the Queen jumped out of an aeroplane, didn't she? Was it the Jubilee or was
That
it
was the Olympics.
The Olympics, yeah, okay.
That was so great. I rewatched that on YouTube recently.
Did you?
Yeah, about a week ago.
Oh.
Just thought I need to be cheered up.
They found the Higgs boson.
Congratulations to them.
Always in the last place you look.
That was great.
It was in CERN. It was equally the first place they looked, but and that really changed the world, didn't it?
Well, I think it's a bit early to say. Imagine it will in a bit.
Yeah.
We got to go there. It was so exciting.
Oh my God, that was
we got to go to
amazing.
CERN this year.
Yeah.
And we had a look around, and they give you your own
Higgs boson.
with your name carved on it. It's a very special, precious thing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, there was a guy who was a Taliban commander. There was a warrant out for his arrest, and there was a reward being posted of $100, and he tried to claim the $100 reward by handing himself in to the authorities.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did that work out for him?
He was arrested and he was then not given $100.
Oh.
It couldn't have worked out worse for him, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been a bad year for him.
Bad year for
2012,
him.
wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Okay.
Well, that's the decade. That's basically everything that happened in the last 10 years.
God.
If you watch this YouTube video, you're pretty much up to date.
Yeah.
And your favourite thing?
I think probably the mum getting a tattoo change from Kevin to Calvin.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, the mum getting her son changed after her tattoo. I think that is admirable. And, yeah.
And I think mine was definitely your thing about the people who stole a load of biscuits and they said to the judge, "Do you want a biscuit?" I think if maybe in 1,000 years when people look back at this decade, that's probably the one story that will still be remembered.
I hope you're right. I genuinely do, actually. That's it. That's all of our facts. Thank you so much for watching this.
Yes. Enjoy the next decade. We've been James and Andy, 2/4 of No Such Thing as a Fish, and we'll see you again in 10 years.
See you then.